Hello and welcome to the Prince2 pre-course videos, and this video is closing a project process. And in this process we're going to be looking at closing a project. As we can see here, this process is toward the end of the project, so during the final stage. There's a little process where we're going to be carrying out the necessary activities in order to be able to close the project and then go to the project board for approval to close the project down. So note, you are not closing the project yourself. You are preparing information so that the project board can make that decision. Now, if you notice, you're carrying out closing a project process during the final stage. So this will be work which will be included in that final stage plan. And the aim behind this, the key objectives are to make sure that we've delivered the project's products, they've been handed over to the project board and then on into the business, and make sure that we've got a point in the project where the project ends and business as usual take responsibility for the project's products. Main objectives then, to ensure that the users accept the project's products, to make sure that the business as usual are ready to accept and use those products, so their transition arrangements are in place, to make sure that the project has delivered against its baseline. So have we delivered on time, to cost, delivered what was required, was it the right quality, those type of things. We're going to need to look at the benefits that we may have realized already during the project, remembering of course that most benefits tend to come after the project, but we shouldn't forget that some may be delivered during the project. And that at the end of the project we hand over to business as usual all the ongoing risks and issues and information they need in order to be able to use the project's product effectively. So there's going to be a number of activities that need to take place, and of course we're going to be, as a project manager, running the final stage, so we'll be in controlling a stage. At some point toward the end of that stage, we're then going to move into closing a project. This may well be running in parallel with the controlling a stage and managing product delivery activities that are going on there. First thing we need to do in this circumstance where it's a planned closure, we'll need to hand over the products. We need to prepare our planned closure. So that means that we'll need to update our project plan to make sure that we know how much and how long we've spent on building the products. We'll need to make sure that the products are ready to be delivered. So have they met the acceptance criteria? We also need to consider our resources. So can we start to release our resources? Are they really necessary on the project as we're running into the end of the project? We'll then need to hand over our products. So this means we have to have some kind of formal acceptance by the business of those products, and we'll get them to sign them off. We also need to hand over any information that the business needs. So anything to do with ongoing risks and issues, any work that hasn't been carried out, advice and guidance on how the product should be used in the business. We'll need to then evaluate the project. So this is a bit of paperwork. So we'll need to write an end project report. So talking about what we've achieved, the handover certificate for the project's product, any ongoing information as we've talked about, that would also be included there to be handed over to the business. We also need to produce a lessons report. So any lessons that we've identified need to be captured so that they can be used by the business. We then need to recommend project closure. So here we're looking to then close down all our logs and registers. We also need to look at our change management approach to confirm who we're going to be reporting to say that the project is closing. We also need to consider our benefits management approach. So this is then how the benefits are to be tracked in the future. This will need to be brought up to date and then authorised by the project board. We'll need to make sure that any other documentation goes into the archive for future use. So that's our normal planned closure. We also might have the circumstance we see there where we have premature closure. So if perhaps because of an issue the project needs to close early, then we'll still need to close it down and we'll still need to take advantage of whatever is available by way of products. So in premature closure then we'll need to update our issue register, because an issue will have triggered this and that needs to be completed. Update our project plan. Again, see what we've got by way of products. And if we do have products to hand over, then we should do so, obviously in conjunction with business as usual. We'll still need to produce an end project report and a lessons report, and we'll still need to carry out that recommend project closure. So the only real difference here might be that there is not going to be either the full amount or maybe no products to hand over. Once we've completed, then we need to go to the project board with a closure recommendation, and then in directing a project, the project board will decide whether or not to continue. So this is a quick look at closing a project process. And remember, you can use this video as part of your revision for your exam on your course. Thank you very much.